Awesome. Awesome. Well, today I have Vanessa with us. I had the honor and the privilege of working with Vanessa for a whole year. And I think Vanessa has overcome a lot of things, a lot of challenges, and has made some excellent progress. But I kind of want to, take a step back and let's have, from Vanessa's point of view, what that experience looked like. Thank you for joining us today, Vanessa.
Of course.
So when you initially signed up with us, you were coming from a place where you had some concerns with cortisol, like you'd been diagnosed with low cortisol, and you also had a traumatic brain injury, and were just needing some support. Yeah.
All true.
Yeah. And so like when we started working together, it wasn't just, like, here is the training plan, let's do XYZ. It was more of gradual steps for you, wasn't it?
Yes, because I recall at the time my sleep was affected, and without being able to get proper sleep, especially with a brain injury, it makes it very challenging just to function during the day. So that was one of the major things I recall that we had to take the time to get in order.
Mm-hmm.
And that took a little time to figure that out, which honestly I was amazed by your patience and persistence in that process, because I know with a lot of professionals, if the solution that they offer doesn't solve it or doesn't come easy, it's like, well, I guess we got to just learn to live with this.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that wasn't the approach. It actually made me feel like my issues were cared about personally, because we were trying to solve them and get to the bottom of them. And with just some time and consistency, we were able to achieve that.
Right. Yes. No, so much consistency on your part. That was one of the things I'm most proud of you for, is always continued consistency. But through working on like those foundational habits, like we worked on your sleep, we worked on your gut, we worked on your hormones, but all through those foundational steps, I know for you with stress was a huge component of, being able to control not just the stress from not sleeping, but also, you have a big family. You're responsible for a lot of things. And so, helping your body have better ways to manage that day-to-day stress was also something that was super key for you.
Yes, I agree. And that too was that was a learning process too. And it was learning different techniques and implementing them. And I would say one of the things that I really learned that was brought home for me in the experience was, you must listen to your body's cues, because it gives it to us. And sometimes we have the tendency that we have a goal in mind that we want to reach, and then we set a time limit when we want to reach it. And we can get so focused on just obtaining that we sometimes want to like push through no matter what. So this experience has really taught me that long term, that is not the way. You have to listen to your body. And if you do, it will return the favor, and it will heal, and it will treat you good, and it will help you do all the things that you want to do, but you cannot skip steps.
Mm-hmm.
And that, when I found working with a coach and you're doing the biofeedback, that's what it's for. Like, you have to take that and listen. And then I'll be the first to say, at almost 45 years old, I remember being stubbornness, like, no, I already know the way. But so it's a little bit of surrendering to the guide and saying, I'm going to let go a little bit of the control, and I want to trust the process. I know we hear that a lot now. People say trust the process, but it's true. You have to be at that point where you're able to relinquish that control a little bit, and then and trust that the person that you are paying to help you is actually going to do that. And I feel very fortunate and grateful that I found an organization and you who that's what you guys actually do, what you say that you're going to do.
Yeah, that's a big topic. No, I think that you also touched on something that is so, so important and so key. Um, if you want things to last long term, you have to do it differently. You can't skip the steps. If you skip the steps, you stay in that circle. And I don't know about like anybody else, but I myself don't want to live like on a diet roller coaster for the rest of my life. And I knew that you didn't either. So yes, working with your clients um, to heal those underlying issues, to make sure that you have all those foundational pieces down. And then look at you, like this is, what are you, 4 months on your own now, 5 months on your own, and you're still doing fantastic. You're still implementing all those foundational pieces. And that, to me, is what we want to accomplish with our coaching.
And you did. So I feel that that was very successful. Doing that foundational part is more important than the steps that come after that, which is like, whether it be I want to build more muscle, or I want to shed a little fat. You have to understand the foundational aspects of just having a human body and working with it. And I think I probably speak for a lot of people when I say that with the internet and when you go on there, there's so much information, which could be a good thing and a bad thing. And with all this information, a lot of what we hear is you have to just move a lot more and eat a lot less, and then you will get this result. But long term, and I know because I've done that way, it as a woman especially, and especially in your 30s going into your 40s, it will whack out your whole system, and then you're in a much worse place to begin with. So I like that I'm starting to see a little bit of a shift of where the thought is, let's think about being strong and functional and less about being skinny. Because that's long term. You don't want to be skinny when you're in your 50s and 60s and not have a functional body, because those are the years that you need that strength the most, because you're already going into a decline because of shift in hormones and that sort of thing. So it's never too late to start. That's what I'm saying. Just if you're starting and you're in your 30s, great. If you're starting in your 40s or 50s, it doesn't matter. It's better to start now. And there's always there's plenty that can be done, and changes that you can help yourself, along the way, because I want to live a long time. I hope to live to 100 like my grandparents, but I want to live to 100 and be strong and healthy and functional. That's the goal.
Right. That's such an excellent goal. And it sounds like you have that understanding now, that piece that was missing for you. It sounds like you've really, really identified that, and you possess the knowledge now to help you be able to achieve that long-term goal.
Yeah, the key is not to forget it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, reach out anytime you need a reminder. We're here.
Yes, because we're still bombarded with so many messages online for these quick fixes. So the important thing is to remember, no, I know this, and there's no quick fix for anything. It's think about it on a day-to-day basis. So for example, just what are the goals for the day? Like, so if it's like, I'm going to drink enough water, I'm going to move my body today, I'm going to make sure I get sufficient rest. If you check off most of those boxes for the day, or all of them, that's an excellent day. You may not see the drastic change and result after that one day, but each day that you do that's a win, that moves you in that direction. So that it's a lot of a mindset shift. And it comes through the process of like relearning all of this. And I found that the coaching process has been helpful in that, because sometimes you just kind of need someone who keeps just guiding you in that, thinking. And whether it's 6 months or a year, I was fortunate and grateful to be able to do a year. You can change so much and accomplish so much in that time.
No, you really can. It just takes application, it takes consistency, and I'm so proud of you in both of those aspects. I think you did really, really fantastic. You always were very quick to apply things. You're always super consistent. And I mean, the quality of health that you have now is really just testament to everything that you consistently applied.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Vanessa, just out of curiosity, if you had a friend or a family member that was considering, working with us for 6 months or say a year, what would you tell them?
I'd be like, that is an excellent investment. And I would strongly, recommend that. I think, I know I'll speak from my experience, especially as a woman and as a mom, and we might have the tendency to say, oh, well, I need to use my time and money for this. And usually it's for other people, you're thinking about other people, which is good and which is important as well. But I also think sometimes we have to give ourselves a gift. That's how I try to look at it, as I'm giving myself the gift of a better me. Because when I give myself that and I work on that, which is challenging in itself, in turn, I have something a little bit better to give to everybody else that they're like, I love and care about. And it pays dividends, I promise, over the years. Like, even though it's an experience that you might think, oh, well, 6 months, a year, it's not just that time. It goes beyond that. If you apply yourself and you put the time into yourself, then you develop new habits, and then that goes with you over the course of years to come. And to me, that's one of the greatest investments we can. Anytime we invest in ourselves in any way, whether it's like through our education, we putting into our mind what we teach ourselves, taking care of ourselves by eating well and hydrating ourselves, that's an investment. Like, I can't emphasize that enough, and which I do tell my friends and family that. I'm like, listen, take care of yourself. It is worth it over the long run, over the years. It really, really, really pays off. I don't think you can emphasize that enough, because we just get one body. Mm-hmm. We get one mind. So if we run it down or we abuse it, I mean, we're not going to there's no place we can go to get another one. This is it. And we have to treat ourselves accordingly. So that's what I would tell them, to think about that and love yourself enough. And even if you don't love yourself enough at that time to say you can do it, you'd probably love yourself more through that process. That's what I found too. It helped in growing in my own personal self-love of myself, because I learned to take care of myself better. I learned to listen to myself instead of hurting myself by not listening to cues or understanding what my body was trying to tell me and try to fight against it. That's what we sometimes tend to do. We fight against our own selves and our own good. So all around, I would say it has the potential to be a life-changing experience if one takes the first step of committing. Keep your commitments to yourself when you make them, and then show up for yourself every day. It's such a good feeling. It really is, because you feel accomplished, in that. So I hope everyone can find a way to make that happen for themselves at least at one point in their life. I think everyone deserves that.
No, I think that's such an excellent, excellent point, and such a good viewpoint too on your health. Like you get one body. Such a good point. All right. Well, thank you for your time today, Vanessa. I really appreciate it. I am so happy that you're doing so well, still implementing all the things, and I'm just super happy for you. Thank you for allowing me to work with you last year.
Oh, thank you. I was so grateful and still am, even I'm still glowing months after.
You certainly are.